want me to tell you my burden? Okay, well, I'll tell you about a night I can't forget. I'm not going to tell you exactly when this happened, only that it was a few months back. There's no other way to put this. I'm a thief. I sneak into people's homes at night and steal their shit. I didn't do it alone. I had a partner. Let's call him Mitch. Our MO was to never rob a place with people in it. Too messy, and kidnapping and assault gives way more years. So we'd case a place, learn the security systems, places of access. You get the point. The night I'm talking about, we were in this big mansion. We'd figured out the owners would be gone for 2 weeks in Spain. People just post this stuff on Facebook. The security system was a breeze according to Mitch. That's his specialty. Mine is locks, safes. Anyway, we're in this mansion which is not completely dark because of these ambient lights from outside. Lots of big windows. Mitch says he'll do the rounds downstairs, so I head up. The family had 2 kids, both boys. I went through both their rooms first. Found a few nice watches which I could flip easily enough. I debated on taking their PS5s, but thought I'd wait till I checked mommy and daddy's room. Not that I'm being nice or anything. I prefer not to go for bulky items. Small and very expensive is my game. The master bedroom had some nice pieces in the walk-in wardrobe. Again, some good watches for him and her. Necklaces, rings, but I was expecting some diamonds and a Rolex at least. That's when I got to looking for a safe. There's always one hidden somewhere in these fancy houses. Sure enough, it was hidden in the walk-in behind a false panel. One of those fireproof Sentry models. Nothing I hadn't cracked before. While I was doing my thing, I felt my phone vibrate. It was Mitch calling. He was whispering hard. I'm trying to figure out what he's saying. He's asking me if I had come downstairs and then walked back up. I told him no. I'm cracking the safe. I ask him when he saw this person. He tells me just that minute, then he called me. We both went silent. There was someone else in the house. I said to Mitch to wait down there while I check it out. We had plans for this sort of thing. We wouldn't hurt someone really, just scare and tie them up if we had to. I pulled my mask down and crept out of the wardrobe. The parents' room was clear, so I made my way to the hallway. Nobody in sight there too. I walked slowly down towards the first room on my left. It was a guest bedroom with an ensuite. Nobody was in there either. Back in the hallway, I could now see downstairs from the balcony. I quickly spotted Mitch hiding behind a couch in the living area. Just this dark figure wearing all black like myself with his mask pulled down. We gave each other a signal that we'd seen nothing. There was another guest room to check, as well as the 2 kids' rooms and the bathroom. So the other guest room was empty, but while I was in the bathroom I could have sworn I heard someone sneaking past the door outside. It had better not be Mitch, I thought. Another part of me was hoping it was, because at that stage I was getting creeped out. When I was back outside, I had my torch ready to bash someone over the head. Rules be damned at that stage. I looked over the balcony to see Mitch was still behind the couch. Again he gave the sign that he'd seen nobody. I took a large breath and headed back up the hallway towards the parents' room. Gave that first guest bedroom a check on the way for good measure too. Back inside the parents' room there was no sign of anyone, or in the ensuite either. But when I looked inside the wardrobe, the safe was open. As I was staring at it with disbelief, my phone started vibrating again. I ignored it as I knelt down in front of it. The only things inside were a gun and a book. I don't know why I was drawn to it. It was the first thing I reached for. A small green book with your symbol on the front. As I held it in my hands rubbing my thumb over the symbol, something strange happened. I can't explain it any other way, only that I lost time. I mean, 1 second I was kneeling there with the book in my hands, and then I was standing in front of Mitch. He's asking me if I'm all right. I'm just in a daze. I blinked a few times, then looked around trying to get my bearings. I was back downstairs. How the hell did I get down here, I thought. Mitch grabs me by the shoulders and starts shaking, telling me to snap out of it. I'm still looking around trying to keep it together. I shake him off, telling him I'm fine. He's looking at me like I was nuts. I gave him a stern I said I'm fine, which seemed to put him at ease somewhat. The last thing you want is for someone to lose their shit on a job, and I didn't want to be that guy. Mitch starts telling me how I'd just walked down from upstairs and stood there. He'd tried to get my attention but couldn't up until he stood right in front of me. Told me I'd freaked him the hell out. Then he asks what's in my hands. I looked down to see I was still holding the book. As I was trying to answer, he changed the subject, asking me if anything good was upstairs. What about the other guy? I asked. Mitch gave me that look again. What other guy? He asks. It was plain by the look on his face that he had no idea what I was talking about. I asked him about the guy he'd seen going up the stairs. He's fucking perplexed by this. I ask if he heard anything. Again he's looking at me like I just lost it. I didn't want to push any further. Maybe I was going crazy or something. Or maybe Mitch was pulling some kind of dumb prank. Though he'd never done it before. I quickly explained that I'd thought I'd heard something upstairs. Mitch was through at that point. He grabbed me by the collar and told me to get upstairs and finish the job. 10 more minutes and we'd be out of there. We'd both needed the score, and I knew Mitch was not leaving empty-handed. I'd trusted Mitch as much as someone can in that line of work. But I'd seen him get nasty with another guy we worked with. I could tell by the look in his eyes that he was close. So I headed back up. As I was climbing the stairs, I got this strong feeling of déjà vu. Just stopped me dead in my tracks. The way I had been climbing, the current thoughts in my head, how the light fell on the half-opened bathroom door. It all felt way too familiar. I quickly put it to the back of my mind, and once at the top, looked up and down the hallway. For some reason I couldn't shake the thought that I'd never checked the 2 kids' rooms that time when I was searching for the creeper. So I gave them a quick glance and hurried quietly down the hall to the master bedroom. Inside it seemed to be how I left it. I nearly dropped the book when I saw the safe. It was closed. I grabbed the handle and it was locked tight. What the fuck, is all I could whisper. In that moment I knew I had to open it no matter what. It was the quickest work I've ever done despite being so frantic. When the door flung open I nearly fell back. Inside was full of expensive jewelry, watches, stacks of cash, and that same gun. I couldn't believe it. I still can't explain it. What could I do? Time was running out. I grabbed the goods, stuffing them into my bag. Everything except the gun. Just as I was about to close it up, I noticed the book lying on the floor next to the safe where I'd left it. I picked it up without thinking about what I was doing really and placed the thing back inside where I'd found it. My phone vibrated and I answered. Mitch told me it was time to go. A sudden jolt of fear came over me as the entire situation replayed in my head. I just got up and made my way out to the room, then the hallway and straight down the stairs. Mitch was waiting. Without even stopping I went straight past, telling him, "Let's get the hell out of here." I didn't even wait for him outside while he reset the alarm. He chewed me out when he got to the van. I ignored him and just drove. His mood picked up when he looked in my bag. He asked me what had happened back there. I put off telling him. When I dropped him off at home, Mitch was already calculating what the take was. I didn't care. It was 2 days later when we met up for coffee in the morning before we fenced the goods. Again he asked me about what had happened. I told him to forget about it. We got paid and went our separate ways. He hasn't called since about another job, and that's fine by me. Either I lost my mind that night or Mitch was fucking with me. I don't know how he could have. It doesn't matter. It's what I choose to believe. Because I don't want to think about the other thing.